George McLaughlin knew there was more to life than running a sawmill. He loved what he did, but he needed better equipment. He'd make the finest, fastest chainsaw man has ever seen. That chainsaw instantly would tear through wood with a nice clean cut and would make him the envy of anyone in the lumber business. He knew just the tree to cut to prove the merits of his product. It was 800 years old, huge, gnarly, and tough as nails. He took a picture of himself in front of the tree and then started to saw. Suddenly a face appeared on the tree and it swallowed him. He was presumed lost in the wilderness or eaten by a bear. No one cared because he was a loner anyway. New workers took over the mill and everything went smoothly until 7 years later, when 100 workers mysteriously disappeared. The relatives of the missing workers soon began receiving wooden boxes. The moment they opened them, a maniacal wooden doll jumped out and chased the terrified families. They used pans, sticks, or hammers to smash the dolls as best they could. Ironically, those wooden dolls spewed blood, and this freaked the people out even more. They called them Woodpuppets and hoped they had seen the last of them.
I love that intro. It's my favorite in the game. No one cared because he was a loner anyway. Anyway, our objective here is to figure out what's been happening in this old abandoned lumber mill and what these wood puppets are all about. The prize money is going up. As you can see, it's up to 120,000, so it's a lot more than what we've been getting. And we're going to be using Michelle for this level.
Oh yeah!
As I said in the last video, Michelle's advantage is that she has more adrenaline than the other characters. And that can come in handy, as the horror monitor is back in this level, and there are traps for us to defuse. However, Michelle's disadvantage is that she has less stamina than the other characters, which is going to be a pain in the latter half of this level, because there is going to be some fighting. Yes, the trap cam is back. And apparently the McLaughlin lumber mill had very low standards for their employees. And the crash test dummies are back as well, and this is a very poor position to be in. Once Michelle gets up, we're going to have to make use of that helicopter pad, as we don't have a weapon yet. Fortunately, when we do find a weapon, it's going to be a lot better than the metal pipe was. And we're bleeding already, so once we're out of here, we're going to have to go back to just walking until this goes down. The speed ladder would have been useful here, but I think there actually isn't one in this level. And there's our first look at the mysterious angry appendage that we'll be seeing a few times in this level. What could it belong to? Haunted lumber and cutting tools are going to be the theme of the traps and wood puppets. Now, keep in mind that since Michelle has low stamina, she will also be taking increased damage from the traps as well. So any traps that I happen to blunder into will take their toll even more than they were before. There are a few items to find in this outdoor area. It's a little, you might not want to explore this place your first time through because you're going to be worried about setting off the traps, which are to the sides of the area. There are also some ambush points for crash test dummies to attack you. Right, like that trap. But there are a few items to find if you're brave enough to go exploring. There's a Hassie, there's a gauze wrap, and a relaxation CD. I just realized that I did not pick up the relaxation CD when I played through this time. But if you're not using the drugstore, like me, then picking up any and all items is essential for this level. Oh, delightful. A hallway of chainsaws. Time to put Michelle's excess adrenaline to use. There are a lot of spots to tag here, and once again, which ones will actually turn out to be traps will change from game to game. All of them register a blip under sight, so there's no help there in determining which ones will spring. By the way, take a look at Michelle's health after this next trap. That one did an amazing amount of damage. Just to emphasize that when using Michelle, you do have to be more careful about avoiding traps than if you're using another character. I haven't shown fainting yet, so here it is. If the character is surprised and their pulse is over 200, they'll collapse for a few seconds. It's not that big of a deal outside of a battle, but if this happens when you're surprised by an enemy, it'll allow the enemy to get some free hits in on you. It's a very annoying mechanic and sort of a warning about how high your pulse is. Sort of like the game is telling you, hello, if this keeps happening, you're going to die. That trap does not seem to match the theme of the level. Anyway, at the point where you're fainting, it is a good idea to stand still until your pulse is under control. Now, something else that I haven't shown yet is that when there's a weapon for you to pick up nearby, the horror monitor will tell you that. And we can see that there is a weapon for us over by that woodcutter statue.
Hello, my name is George McLaughlin. I came to this beautiful forest 7 years ago as a woodcutter. That's really all I knew how to do.
The mysterious angry appendage apparently does not like McLaughlin, it seems. Now, the blood-filled statue was holding this memo for some reason. It tells us of a purchase of 2x4s from the mill. So we'll take this seemingly useless memo with us for now.
Ho, gonna cut the tree, gonna cut the tree, and I got to cut the tree 'cause I love to cut the tree. Yo ho ho, and I'm out of control, I'm gonna cut the tree.
Well, the appendage doesn't seem to like songs about tree cutting either. Either that or it just has a grudge against blood-filled statues. But what's more important is that we've got the axe. The axe is going to be our weapon for this level. And the description of the axe makes a reference to a real horror franchise. I think that's the only time the game does that. Actually, I should say that this is going to be one of the weapons we have, as we won't be using it for a lot of the fighting in this level, for reasons that you'll see later on. Now we've got a trap-filled hallway coming up, so we need to take it slowly through here.